All right, I guess let's call the meeting to order at 4:31.
Do you want me to close this door a little bit, do some conversation?
If you want, yeah,
It doesn't bother me, but I didn't know what.
if it gets loud, we can close it. If not, whatever, I don't care.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so meeting's been called to order, and I'd like to ask first if there are any adjustments to the agenda.
No, I think we've got that included in new business.
All right, I'd entertain the motion to approve the prior meeting's minutes.
So.
Any second? I'll second. All right, any discussion or review to be done? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so now we're at item 4, public comment for items not on the agenda. Anyone from the public like to comment? Anyone online? All right, hearing none. All right, we're already well into our agenda here. 5, new business. I've got some new business, but it's in 6, so. I guess, and then there's some other stuff
Yeah,
there. Are there any new business items not related to the selectmen board's building adjustment? The cash treasurer's report or the update on the architect?
no, I'm just saying here, I spoke with a gal, Sky Butterson Dunn from the Island Institute regarding capital campaign, and I'll give you a little update on that when we get to number 7.
Okay. All right, so I can just quickly update you on the architect. Now, I'm a little confused as to whether we have authority from the town to hire the new architect. I think we do.
We
but-
do,
okay,
we do.
good. All right, I've had a conversation with them. They're prepared to come to our next meeting in person so we can meet them. Now, this is Archetype, who was one of the proposers that we didn't select last time. We looked at 2 architects and selected the other one. I think they had submitted a qualified proposal and they have some familiarity with the building from having proposed before, so the plan would be for them to travel up here to the next meeting and talk through the current plan with us, and then after they meet us, presuming we all are good, they're gonna give us a proposal for what's called design development set, which is basically the next round of architecture that we'll use for some better cost estimating for the project. In terms of a cost estimate, I haven't got one yet. I've got a couple of firms who are ready to look at it, but where the architect was in play, I decided to wait, so there's no real update on that as well. Any questions or comments about that?
Can you share the name of the new architect?
Yeah, it's called Archetype.
Architect.
Yeah. I think their website is archetypepa.com, all one word, if you wanna check them out.
Thank you.
Yep.
John Koppel has his hand raised.
Oh, John, sorry. Feel free to just shout out if I don't see you.
You're muted.
Yeah, you're on mute.
Okay. All right. I guess I'm wondering how far we want to go. There will be substantial expense with the new architect. We do have decent plans right now for preliminary pricing and an assessment of whether or not we really can fulfill even what we've designed to date.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think we can get some preliminary pricing before we do more design, if that's what the group feels is warranted. I also think, sort of to John's point, a different angle is that we're sort of relying on this point for that CDS money to come through. And if it doesn't, I think the capital campaign that we've talked about putting on here is around 700,000. With maybe some good leads on a quarter or more of that already. But if that all of a sudden becomes 2 million, 1.8 million, then I think we haven't really prepared for that yet, so. Maybe to John's point, it's better to get some get some numbers for what we've got and then go from there. But with an architect in flux, I hadn't done anything on it yet.
Kevin, thank you. That is my sentiment.
Okay,
I mean, when they're cutting food benefits and going to the Supreme Court to cut them, I'm not optimistic about getting money for South Thomaston.
Well, I'm not ready to lay down yet, I'm sorry.
no one's laying down. I think John's just saying, don't spend a bunch of money
Right. I
and
can
have
get
it
that.
end up being for no reason, which is
Thank
fair,
you,
absolutely
Kevin.
fair
Yes.
point.
Right,
Yeah,
right. So, point well taken, and I understand.
so, okay, so I'll work on that, but in any case, archetype can come to the next meeting, which I think is good. We've got to have somebody on board.
Yeah, we need a catalyst, positive catalyst.
All right, so let's talk a little bit, maybe this is a good segue. John, you're our treasurer, I believe, correct?
As secretary.
Who's the treasurer?
Oh,
The town is the treasurer.
that's right, thanks.
Who can give an update on cash in hand and cash that we can spend? Anyone have that handy?
But that's not very.
Gary's the town treasurer.
Okay.
I didn't know you needed it. I
Okay,
can,
that's
I can
fine.
send it to everybody tomorrow.
Oh, that'd be great, if we could, that would be.
I think we're somewhere in the range of 20,000-30,000. That sound right, John?
It depends on how you count the money that came in from Paul DiMaggio.
Yeah.
That was $30,000, 27 of it for construction.
Yeah,
And my memory is that we had 30,000 and we only spent about 16 for I'm sorry. Somebody else addressing this?
no, we're listening to you.
Oh, I think we had about 16,000 that we spent on architects and not much else out of 30 that we started with, and we got Paul DiMaggio's additional 30. So we had a total over $60,000 in hand.
So we probably got about 20 to 22 left that's unencumbered, basically.
Right, or available for construction.
Yeah. Okay. All right, this building plan adjustment, I saw some emails about this, which I sort of understood, but not fully, so I'd rather let the group talk a little bit about this and what the. Maybe someone else could take this item and explain what the plan is with a building plan adjustment and how real that is, and how firm that is, and kind of where it came from and what we ought to be doing about it. I have some thoughts about it, but before I share them, I kind of need to know a little more what's going on. Who'd like to, who knows about that? Gary, do you know more about that than the rest of us?
Maybe.
Let's hear it. Can you share?
I can share.
Okay,
Currently, the fire chief, the code enforcement officer, the assessor's agent, and the ambulance director, who's also the fire chief, and the LPI share an office.
yep,
It's in the back room.
Yeah.
Everyone is welcome to go look at it. And the assessor's agent came to me in September and said, I can't do this anymore. I'm trying to meet with people. You're talking on the phone, you're meeting with people, David's meeting with people. It's loud, we can't concentrate. So he asked if we could go back to the original option of going down to Gilbert Butler, which had been proposed earlier.
mhm,
So I talked to the select board and we have come to an agreement that we will use the book nook, the little office that's there, and the media room. It's a little over 300 square feet.
and is that intended to be an interim solution or a permanent solution, or what's the level of? Cause we're sort of a long-term planning group, so what are the long-term aspects of this? Is this just to stop the bleeding and keep the assessor from quitting, or is this sort of?
No, it's
Gonna-
because we need space.
Right, understood.
Function. I see it as permanent.
Okay,
Whether it stays in that exact space as we move along in the project,
okay,
that's up for whatever, but if we are moving down there.
so the basic concept is the town needs a little bit of space built into the plan going forward, wherever that may be. And I have to ask, of all the planning we've done, how come that didn't come up before?
And Kevin, it did
finally
come
came
up.
to it has come up before,
The town voted.
it has come up before.
Yeah.
But it finally came to I can't do this anymore, this is a terrible place for us to work, and there's room down in Guilford Butler that we could move
Yeah.
into.
So I thought we had sort of specific direction from John Spear on behalf of the select board to say, he said, don't consider a town portion in your planning.
Right,
Yes.
forget
Things
about that.
change, things change.
Okay, that's fine. Just
Yeah,
wanna make sure.
that was my memory too. Thank you, Kevin,
Yeah.
because I was beginning to think I imagined it.
But this space that they're looking for is not invasive of anything
No,
that's there already. It's a very small, you've got a book nook and a small room right off the book nook, which used to be Arlene Hopkins. And then right there, there's a small wall that needs to be taken down that was put up there many years ago. So it's not an invasive space that would take any, it shouldn't change anything.
It does include where we had hoped to put the Lulu lift. And it does include the media room, which is circulating items that will have to be relocated.
Yeah. Well, if they're
But
not
that's
wedded
very
to,
easily
if they're not
done.
wedded to one particular spot, then we can probably, it sounds like we can probably do what's best for the building and the design, as long as we give them 300 square
Ample
feet
notice,
somewhere
right?
that's in the best spot,
Mhm.
right?
having attended both those, well, no, I didn't attend both, I read about October 7th meeting, the select board, and then attended the one on the 28th where they discussed it, and my question, two questions were one, as you say. Okay, so where is this going, and is this going to be, a forever thing? And when I asked, is this going to be included now in the plans for the renovation? And Jeff's response was yes,
Okay.
yes.
One thing that we will have to check is if that would violate the terms of the grant at all, the CDS request. I'm not aware that it is or isn't, didn't have time to research it, but sometimes they have carve outs for, you know, can't be used for local government or something. We need to just make sure we don't run afoul of that with this plan, and if, without getting too far into it, if that is the case, then we have to sort of plan to, you know, not do that with that money.
Right.
To taint the source, just something we have to look into.
Is there any reason why this couldn't happen before you look into it, and before we know if the money is even gonna be available?
No,
I mean, they
No.
really need to move,
yeah, no, there's no,
no question about that.
yeah,
And the space is there.
from our perspective, we're not going under construction anytime soon, so whatever happens between now and then is up to the powers that be, which is kind of not us, you know?
Yeah,
So,
I was wondering whether or not it would be prudent for you and I to meet up with Jeff, or maybe the select board, and just talk a little more specifically, because we now have this new, you know, the archetype company. And like you were saying, the lift has to be changed around, and I know that one of the select people had mentioned that where the lift would be located, they would want it to be a little closer to what we consider to be the proposed big room with a community room where we can have the big meetings and such. So
yeah,
it
addition,
looks like an adjustment there, but we want to be very specific before we even talk to the architect.
okay.
but is there any reason to do that before you move?
Oh, I don't think, my thing is, I know that there was a question about the wall coming down.
It's a
And-
small wall.
Yeah,
If you look at it, it was built there. It's not a structural wall, it's nothing
Right.
like that. It was just a makeshift wall that was put up, so there's really nothing that anybody has to talk to
right,
about, for our planning for the future, or if these very important people of the town need space. And that's what we voted on, voted on annual town meeting, was that the town office at some point would be able, and the building is big enough to support that. And if you have to move the videos to another, there's certainly enough room.
Well, we're a year away from any construction.
Right,
Even if
so
everything goes
I don't
great,
think
so I
that
don't think we,
anything
as a
should be
committee,
discussed
townsfolk
about.
or Penny might have questions or comments, but as the work of this committee isn't necessarily
Right.
impacted by
I
that.
agree with that.
Exactly.
It
And also,
doesn't impact us.
Jeff made the comment that, you know, we're all pretty handy dandy, and sounded like there were people who were gonna come forward. We don't have to pay anybody to take down.
I don't think it would cost any money. It's not, I mean, it's a small,
He did say that it wouldn't cost us any.
yeah, it would, yeah, it won't. There'll be no taxpayer dollars spent, and it will just be doing a great
There
service
will be,
to the town.
they will need to put in their own internet.
Well, the internet service
Service
there
and
right now is not very good.
Well, we can't use that.
Well, I know,
We'll put
but,
our own road.
yeah, but that's
But they're not-
different.
No, I,
Okay, so there's an internet issue, right? We can.
Yes, we can't use the
No,
main
but
library.
that's not up to our committee.
No, it's
No,
up to the
that's-
selectmen, okay, but
No,
I'm just putting it
the
down
town
for
will need to,
questions.
and that's what would have to be done, but it's a good thing anyway. Because the internet service at that building is terrible, but we need fiber optics.
we have fiber optics, it's really, Maine State Library Network is,
I couldn't get any service, so anyway. I'm not
Doesn't
going
matter.
there.
We can't
Not
use the
like
main state
Right.
library, so we will have to have internet to move down there. And yes, the town will have to pay for it, and no, it will not come out of the money for this account. So Kevin, are you saying that it's okay for us to move forward with this? It's not affecting?
At this time, it's a non-issue. I think when we get,
I
when and if
agree.
we get to a
It's
point where we have a
not an
major
issue.
construction project, we have to make sure that we're not getting in any trouble with it, but right now, it's not an issue.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
I move that we approve it as a committee that for an interim use, like everything else in the library, until construction commences, the town will be able to use a small
no.
for business and safety uses.
I don't think we have
That's not-
jurisdiction over that, do we?
No.
That's all the time, and that's what Jeff had
What we're
said.
saying, Kevin, is that it's not going to interfere with our planning.
Correct.
I think,
Correct.
yeah, I think that's true. I don't
It
know if
isn't.
that rises to the level of a vote.
No. Oh,
It's fine as long as everybody understands it, we don't need a vote.
no,
No, because that's not up to us.
it's up to the town.
Yeah.
The town owns the building and they need,
The select board has approved it.
Correct.
yes.
And so it will be.
And the townspeople voted on it. For this, that may come up in the future, and it's come up. For 300, how many, 300 and
Something, little
This
over
is
300.
maybe 300 square feet of a town-owned building.
I think we should drop the discussion. It's done.
Thank you.
Moving very along.
Okay.
There
Okay, it
was-
sounds like you've taken care of everything under 5, we'll call that 5.5.
Kevin, I
Six.
had actually asked the committee if we could discuss a couple of repair items, and I don't see it on the official agenda.
Oh,
Okay, go ahead.
put you on there, though.
Your
Um,
hazmat stuff is on there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
that's
not
what I'm
asking about the
something else.
hazmat.
have-
I would like to
oh.
see us authorize money to extend the downspout, the second downspout that was not extended, to try to control water away from the building. I'd like us to authorize purchase of a dehumidifier for the mechanical room or for the old fire truck station to reduce humidity. And I think that we could have a volunteer project to remove water absorptive materials that are in the basement to control any mold issues as much as possible.
Now, given the last discussion, this is the town's building, the town owns it, shouldn't the town be keeping it up? Why are we
Exactly.
spending our construction planning dollars
Exactly.
on it?
I think it's a very important repair that
I
is
agree.
keeping a lot of people awake at night as to the conditions there. And it's, I think for less than $2,000, we can install a few new lights downstairs, buy a dehumidifier, and control the water at the downspouts. Penny did
I
a great
don't
job
disagree with
with,
anything you're saying, but I'm not drawing a nexus between our funds and this project. I think the
Exactly.
town ought to say that.
the nexus is this, that if we allow the building to deteriorate further, we will have a more difficult job as a committee, more costs to control, to go forward.
Is the assumption that the town won't step up if we say no, and they won't take care of the building themselves?
I don't think the
There-
town
there
actually
is-
knows or has been involved enough to know what's going on down in the basement. And we've had plenty of library donations that could take care of the problems that are there. But the biggest thing I think we have to do is to clear the basement out so it can breathe. It
Mhm.
needs air and a dehumidifier to get rid of the mold. All of that, and that's work. I mean, that's people that will just come in and move
I'm
things
in
out.
favor of doing the right thing and the smart thing, but I don't know if we can, yeah, go ahead.
I have talked to the board, actually, we are running a commercial dehumidifier rated for 8,000 square feet now.
In the basement?
I have talked about making improvements to the lower level, but to spend money on a space that isn't public is not high on the priority
But
list. We did correct the first downspout. I'd love to have the second one corrected because when we have these extreme winds, it does come in that side. Where we have pavement, I'd love to have that ripped up, but that's
Penny,
not,
you were proactive and I applaud you for that. I understand it was the Jorgensen brothers who did that. And if we could do the same for the second downspout, we would be miles ahead. And the real issue is actually rust. Humidity and and steel don't mix, and the longer it goes on, the more rust we're going to have down there. And it's important to stop it.
well,
I repeat Kevin's question, why is the town not doing this? Why are we talking about it? It is a town building.
I think it's sort of a litmus test if the town's gonna be able to be, we're a committee, the town's gonna be the one that takes this project on, and has to build the capacity to pull this off, and I think they have to be able to fix a downspout to their own building if they want this to happen, and without the money they would raise. I mean, I think you're right, John, about what needs to happen. I just think that we're not the financial answer here.
But it's never
Well-
brought to the select board, that's what needs to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
It's brought to the
That I
select-
think is the
That is
process.
the big thing, that nobody, the select board doesn't know what's going on down here.
I know.
And it's not because what Penny said earlier, that because it's not for public use. That's not what it's all about. It's all about maintaining the building and the structure. So it has to be cleaned out, everything, and then the dehumidifier, take the ceiling things, that's all manual work.
I think that we
But-
can maybe form a role in connecting the town to these issues,
yes.
but if you own a real estate asset and it's down the street and across the road
Yes.
from you, you need to understand what's going on in it.
Mm-hmm.
You should be doing periodic walkthroughs, you should be
Absolutely.
maintaining it, especially when you have Penny who knows exactly what's going on in the building. There's no
Mhm.
real reason why the town should not know what's going on in this building. I mean, they gotta,
And they do, I have been very
Okay.
open.
No, they don't. I'm sorry,
I'm sorry.
they don't, because they all go there.
but I report to them when the building leaks and why it leaks, and I have gone to them, asked them to do certain things. I don't think this is this committee's discussion.
Well, the beauty of them moving in is them having
Just to
maybe more of a
say-
presence and.
Yes.
sort of
Yes.
Thank you.
have a little more.
Reality will set, I
Yes.
think.
The whole town needs to pay attention to what's going on. It's a building that we own. It would be like my house. I have to take care of my house. The town has to take care of that building. And right now, nobody knows what's going on there. And I'm sorry, Penny, I'm talking. And I think that the more we get involved as a town unit, then it will help everything that's going on right now.
Well, whether or not they know or not, communication clearly can truly improve. That's, that
Everywhere,
can't be a
everywhere,
controversial
right?
statement, I don't think.
It just needs to come before the board and say, even with estimates, saying, I get this estimate, needs to be fixed. There's library donations, there's building and grounds money. But I'm not sure that they're aware to this extent that this is what has been happening, so. All the past, let it all go, everyone let it go, let's move forward and take this to the select board and say this needs to be fixed. And move on to number 6.
You know, it's kind of nice being from out of town, cause I can tell when everybody's salty about stuff and kind of mad at each other and wants to let go of the past. I don't even know what the past is, I think it's great. I don't even know who's mad at each other or why, I don't care.
I like salty. This has been going on, and this is not why we're here right now, but
Right.
Your
for
comments
our
are,
committee.
it doesn't affect us as a committee, I love that.
Well, you know, we gotta focus. We
But the
can't-
building does, the building affects the committee.
I know, I realize that, I think it's funny. Why don't I then, make a proposal and I'll bounce it back and forth an email with you, put the wording in where I have become a deficit, I guess, of that, but, at any rate, I'll bring it forward to the selectmen.
Well, let's have John write it up, cause John, I think, is probably most conversant
John.
and can express the issues in a way that I think is the best, frankly.
How do you feel about that?
Not to puff you up there, but I think if John writes something up and then someone agrees to present that at the next selectmen's, you know, submit it as a letter or read it into the record or whatever and say, look, you know, here are some things that ought to happen while we're working on this, then we'll see what happens. And if they come back with a hard no, we're broke, then we can come back and say, okay, do we wanna, you know, chip in or not? But it's
Right.
kind of not our responsibility, but if John's right that it ought to happen.
Great.
Absolutely.
Kevin, I can give it to you right now. I recommend that we write a letter, that the town repair 2 downspouts, purchase a dehumidifier, and provide LED lighting for the fire truck bays. Likely at a cost not to exceed $1,800 total. And, we recommend that this work be done.
All right, well, Candace, did you say you wanted to?
Charles,
Describe
so
that.
could you mail that
Yep,
delicious
I'd be happy to.
verbiage to me? And I will spout it out with pride.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
All right, did you have other items before we get to hazmat, John? Or was that?
No, nope,
Okay.
I did not.
All right, so we're gonna hold off on the hazmat because we're at other business, grant capital campaign assistance.
Okay,
Go
well,
ahead.
so, Nancy, oh gosh, help me with her last name. Nancy
Gosling.
Gosling, thank you. Was wonderful and gave me some information and gave me a few names from the Island Institute. So I spoke with first a wonderful lady named Kate, who then put me in touch with the woman who worked, well, with Eva, getting the solar grants going, and now a second grant. And she said that she had a couple of hours where she could give me some guidance, but also she did lay a disclaimer in that she's not a capital campaigner professionally. She has some ideas over that. They also sent me a booklet to read about capital campaigns. And that if we got names or ideas to bounce it off then again, because they then might be able to be very specific and help us. So we've left it where Eva and Sky and myself are going to do a three-way Zoom. And we're gonna talk about what processes that Eva used, because she's so busy right now, and I had asked her, I think I shared this with you, I asked her if she could help us. And she said, talk to me in January. Right now, I'm a busy mom with young kids and she's a full-time worker and my garden hands are gross, so. So anywho, we are gonna do that and we're gonna talk about the necessary pieces. She said, is there a capital campaign manager need because of all the intricacies? And you have to document your monies very carefully. So that's one topic, and then how to be successful on reaching big grant funds and not federal, ladies and gentlemen, with a successful project overview. And then getting this grant search team going with a team. So I will read those documents that came to me. I have read one page. That's all. There are about a dozen. And then I think what I will do is have this second Zoom meeting, let me report back to you, and hopefully we'll have some very specific things. We need a catalyst. We need a positive catalyst, and we need some money to get us going. Let's talk to
I think
Microsoft.
we need some more people on this board that are willing to do grants and then know how to go after grants, all different grants, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I've heard the story before, Candace, but and who you've spoken to, but there are people that I've spoken to that are very familiar with going after grants.
Ooh, we want that.
But I know, but as it is right now, we're a board of 5.
Yeah.
And so they,
5? Do you lose Michael?
I'm speaking of the five oh
What are you
one.
talking?
well, we can't, if we can't get another person on this board.
We have 8 here now.
We have 8 right now.
Oh,
7 in
when did it
person.
grow? Oh, when did it?
You've been so busy, you poor.
I just brought my mom home today.
Yay, she's
Oh,
home.
good.
She's
How's she
home,
doing?
but she's home and she's happy.
That's good.
But she's home. So anyway, I didn't know. So there were people, I don't know anything about writing grants, but going after grants.
We have
I
someone
don't
on the
know.
floor who has a comment and maybe she knows a little something.
And I see her shaking her head, no.
I think the capital campaign advisor, you get somebody who's really competent, will have many suggestions about grants. And I think, when we were working with Layla Murphy, she was already giving us information and we hadn't even really hired her yet. So I think first in capital campaign is get that advisor going. And they're gonna advise you to do not only grants, but go after personal donors.
Yes.
Because that's your quiet phase in a capital campaign. So those things, and all grants have to start with your budget, your case statement, why you're doing this and what's the history and all of that. So I don't know if you got that yet, but that's what a capital campaign advisor will tell you to do.
Are you willing
in
to
my
help us?
experience. Now, I
Are you
don't
willing
have
to
a lot
help
of-
us?
Yeah.
Are you willing to help us?
Well, we did a lot of that.
Yes.
So you have the case statement that we wrote in and those kinds of things already done if you wanted to use those. And that would have to be revised, but in any case, the board, the auxiliary is willing to help write grants, but we need
Information.
Yeah, that is.
You need information on,
somebody that's on top of the whole project. We're-
gotcha.
Okay, so what that looks like is sort of up to you.
Agreed.
Coming around full circle, I think we said that this phase had to wait until we got some numbers, which we haven't had in a concrete form yet.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
But I think if we at least created an infrastructure of people, and there are a couple of ways that we could run like a mini workshop, short, so that people can come and listen to it and then say, oh, okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, and it's not as hard. but you're right, but the capital campaign person, that's a lot of intricacies. There are a lot of facets that, when Sky started talking to me about something, I was absolutely blown away because I didn't know.
I know a lot.
Yeah, and so that kind of help is gonna come from Sky. Information wise, she's not a capital campaign, and let's see, they've been looking for people out in our Rockland or South Thomaston area that may want to take on this role. But Kevin, a question for you. When we have a capital campaign advisor, did I understand that the advisor then gets a percentage of whatever the grant and or the monies?
No, it's whatever you negotiate.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we had talked, the last time we had this conversation, not the decision, but the prevailing sentiment in the committee was that we didn't need one. Because our raise was gonna be about $700,000, because we have a 60-40 match with the federal money. Federal money's around 1.1. 60-40 match is 700 and change. So the sentiment among the committee at the time was, we don't necessarily wanna pay top dollar for a big shot consultant to raise $700,000. We can probably take that on ourselves with maybe a little help.
Right,
And that's kind of where we left it, and honestly, that's where it still sits today.
yeah,
So,
but in reality, that's not gonna happen.
It's possible to do that. I know people who have done that, but I will just say that this is from many years ago, like 8 years ago, when I interviewed people in St. George. They languished for quite a few years trying to raise money for the new library. And finally, they hired a capital campaign person from Thomaston. And then it just was like a year and a half later, they had enough money. So having a really knowledgeable person in control and with the background is useful, I think.
yeah, I mean, I'm in favor of it. The committee at the time was not, but we can certainly revisit it when we get a little closer. I think next month is gonna be, or next meeting, whenever that is, gonna be a pretty big pivotal meeting with a lot going on.
Yeah.
I think we should allow for more than an hour.
Yeah, I agree, could I get that in from you?
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
Kevin, what a great turnout today you had.
Are we there?
Yeah, I was outside,
I
yeah.
didn't see you, yeah.
Yeah, I saw you walking around, but what a great turnout for the ribbon cutting.
Oh, good for you, congratulations.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah. Do you get to hear all the truck stuff?
No, I had to go get my mother grape nut ice cream.
Oh,
So I said, I'm going there first to see the ribbon cutting, so it's in my car, but yeah,
Good for you.
What a
Exactly.
great-
it's in my pocket.
great turnout.
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
ribbon.
From the.
Oh, you do?
All
Oh, that's awesome,
That's a rock.
awesome.
And they're beautiful, I mean, it really
Yes.
does, it looks like
And-
it's
And at the park, all the flags were flying. And it was really,
wow.
It was a cool event. I've never been a part
Yeah.
of one that was on Veterans Day like that, so it was cool.
it was cool.
A much needed increment to Rockland housing.
Yes,
I know.
absolutely.
Lovely.
And that's
Find
what-
out about McLean School here on Friday. That's when they announce the next round.
Oh, I thought.
Oh, good. Yeah.
We'll see.
So, the Guilford Butler Center is holding a Vietnam photo exhibit, so that's.
That's where I was with, she gave me a ride over because I showed up there for the meeting and I'm like, why are you here?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, but it does go to 7, so we could.
Yeah, my
Candace,
ride is coming in 20 minutes.
All
I'm
right.
out of here whether you're done or not, so.
Candace, I have a question about one of your
Go ahead, John.
comments. You were speaking about Eva and I'm wondering if was the solar grant approved?
That was on the day of our conversation, that was not imparted to me at all, and actually wasn't really part of the conversation. It was about infrastructure and who to talk to and how to rally people to feed us information rapidly so we can get money rapidly.
Understand, but she is the point person for that solar grant and is that being done under the Conservation Commission? Penny, you would
Community
know.
Resilience Committee.
Resilience, and have they reported any success?
No, they're meeting Friday.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'll find out right then.
All right.
Okay,
We do
anything
need
else?
to keep track of that and understand what it is they want to do.
Anything else on capital campaign? All right, hearing none. This is under items for next agenda, but I think there's some bullet points about asbestos that somebody wanted to talk about. I guess there's been some concern in the community that be careful because there might be asbestos in the building, and I think there was some emails that went around that suggested that every time that's come up, we've said, we know we have to deal with that, but I think maybe there's still some concern that maybe we won't or don't know about it. Whose item is this? Who wants to talk about this?
I know, but I thought the last one that we were gonna hire somebody to go into the basement to look for asbestos, to do a research. I thought Jeff was gonna look at that. To get somebody in, but in order for anyone to go in to look for asbestos, the basement needs to be cleaned out.
Yeah, what happens as part of a pre-construction project when you sort of know it's real? You'll hire an environmental professional to do what's called a hazmat survey or HPMI. They will come in, they'll charge, depending on how many samples they have to take, probably between $5,000 and $10,000, do a really comprehensive job. You have to also do what's called a phase 1 environmental, which is an environmental scan more broadly that doesn't actually test for contaminants. There's some environmental work that is part of the due diligence of every single pre-construction project. But I think we're a little out ahead of it where we don't sort of know if it's imminent. So I think to build on something John said earlier, before we spend significant additional dollars on architecture, we should sort of understand what the inherent costs in the building are. We also don't have a lot of money of our own that we can spend, so it's sort of chicken and egg a little bit. Things need to get a little more baked before we want to spend that money, is my opinion.
You're basically asking if you're going to disturb any area in the building that you have to test for those components. But until then, this building has been in operation for over 70 years, and there have been Paul DiMaggio checked a few things, and there's no cause at this point because there is no construction.
So I thought I remembered some of this, or perhaps all of it being covered in the engineering survey that was done back in, what was it, 2019?
No, that was structural engineering.
I don't think they actually tested for
No, they
anything.
never
They had an
tested
architect,
for asbestos.
opinion on the building.
Opinion, I'm sure I remembered something being
There's
addressed.
basically always something in buildings of that age.
Yeah.
So it could be a little, it could be a lot, but there'll be something.
I don't think it's a lot, but yeah, if people are concerned about it, absolutely should be addressed, but
Usually
think-
where it shows up are in floor tiles.
Yeah.
the floor tiles
That have-
down there
that
do
have-
not have
that have-
asbestos. They were replaced
In the lower level,
in the lower level.
they're covered in the
And
last
they're
one.
covered in the upper
Mhm.
level, so you know, I'm
Mhm.
thinking that it's not gonna be as big a deal as.
But
we-
it's not, but I think it's more the mold issue that people are concerned about.
Right?
Okay,
Well, we are gonna approach the town to go for the dehumidifier and et cetera, right?
Well, to run another dehumidifier, we are running a
Okay.
commercial dehumidifier in the open area of the lower level, then, draining into one of the commercial sinks.
But my understanding was this is a town building and this might be your responsibility and our.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I think the upkeep and maintenance of any ongoing mold issue would be a town responsibility, but the due diligence on construction, which would involve inert hazardous materials in place that we need to know about for construction, it would be our responsibility
right,
to
but we're
study.
not at that point.
So that's the one, I think, yeah.
But we are at the point to address any mold, anything that leaking and that should be taken care of for the safety of the building.
Yeah, I think we've kind of talked about how we feel about
Yeah,
maintenance of the building, that RV.
and that should be done, but it has to be cleaned out to go through and get all the water. So you can't see anything down there and what's leaking, where the water's coming from.
I
So-
have a pretty good clue of where the leaks are happening and how that the dehumidifier has taken care of it when we've had southern storms that the pavement and it comes through the building. There've been a puddle out on that end of the building into the middle of the room and running that dehumidifier all night. It was gone in the morning before Arthur could go and vacuum it up. I think I have a pretty good working knowledge of where the water is coming from. And I do make visual checks. Val had thought he had seen a leak and it turned out to be, it was the actuator on the yoga room. Radiators, and it had since been fixed, because I asked him to show me where he saw leaking. So, you know, I do make visual checks. I check the dehumidifier, I check the boiler. I spray for mice. You know, I'm basically spending 65 to 75% of my time doing the maintenance and janitorial and custodial work there.
And that's, Penny, thank you for bringing that up, because this should not be left to you to do. The town needs to be more involved, and that's why you cannot be the person that is gonna oversee the structure and the maintenance of the building.
That's a great topic for the town of South Thompson.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and yeah, I know, but she brought it up, so I just had to throw that in.
No, we need to throw these things to the town and not to us.
Right.
Well, she brought it up though, Marcia.
Well,
Doesn't matter, I'm just saying now. let's
Oh,
go back.
okay, so now we'll go to the town.
Yeah, so what were the two issues? I'm trying to listen to everything, and the two issues to bring to the town are the
Maintenance.
maintenance.
No, the town is well aware of that. That is not this committee's.
John's gonna send you a letter, at the bottom of the letter, right, plus also mold.
Okay,
Send it.
John.
Yeah, yeah,
Agreed.
so there can't be one person overseeing what's going on in that building.
Let's
Some
throw it to
priorities.
the town,
Yeah.
Lynn, this is not our.
Masha?
Really.
It's,
I'm really
wasn't talking to you.
This year.
It's a smear campaign?
I was on,
Yeah, I don't know anything about that, I'm not gonna
yeah.
Right, stay out of it.
sorry.
go back and forth.
Thank you.
Guys, smear each other after I'm gone. All right, that's all talked over. I'm gonna move on to correspondence, item 8, if anybody has any, unless anyone has any issues with that. Do we have any correspondence? Anyone corresponded with us?
Yes, Eva, an email, so I put that down because it was like, what?
Okay.
Nice.
And you're corresponding with our, whatever, I've forgotten their name again.
Well, correspondence is like, hey, committee,
know.
here's this thing that you're doing poorly or doing well, and we wanna tell you about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, to me, that's Eva and Sky, thank God.
All right, item 9 would be scheduling of the next meeting.
Right. Oh, I have one piece of information. John, you asked if someone would be interested, now correct me if I'm wrong, interested in being the winter secretary and taking notes and sending out the minutes of the meeting
20 p.m.
for the winter, because when he's doing Zoom, usually he finds it very difficult to see who's speaking. Or that he doesn't get all of the words because there's a lot of din that's going on, you know, whether it's movement of chairs and blah, 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 blah. So is there anybody that would do that? But would you wear the rest of the season's secretarial hat? John?
The hardest thing is to, Sandy Weissman, I'm glad she's here today, but I only saw her at the very last minute. So it is hard for a remote person to identify who's in the audience.
I have an attendance list, John, if that's helpful.
Who wants to
Okay.
be the winter secretary till John comes back to Maine? Anybody?
You get to chew
I
gum.
can't do it, I can't do it.
Thank you.
I feel like you've got a pretty big job.
I'm sorry, I can't.
No.
There
I'm
is,
always just
we
getting
can
home on
have these
hospice.
meeting
I
AI,
Oh.
notes. I mean, I don't like AI, but, and it would be hard to follow exactly what was said today in terms of topic, but,
I wonder if Michael would.
I'm sorry?
Michael, what about?
Is he here enough?
No.
Not here every time.
Yeah, he's-
Oh, I see.
I
see.
did take notes
Let's try
today.
AI next month and see if that works, cause there's nobody here who wants to do it, John, right now.
I know,
I
I
took
can't
notes
believe-
today. They're not as good as some of the times I've taken it, but,
They're
I'll be able
great.
to patch something together and I will investigate,
Masha, how about you?
No, I don't know. I think.
Do-
I suspect, John, that if you leave something out of the notes, you'll hear about it from someone.
Oh, so far that's
Mom,
not
we'll
been
send
true,
you-
Kevin. Nobody
We'll
reads
send you an
them.
extra big cookie for Christmas.
All right,
Okay,
back to scheduling the next meeting. Are we gonna try to meet in December?
Sure. Sure.
Okay,
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
somewhere in the teens, probably.
I don't know.
I mean, the reality of getting contractor bids or even suggested estimates between now and Christmas is probably low. So
Yeah.
Estimates of a lot.
I hate to wait 2 months.
The agriculture.
What about Tuesday the 16th as a check-in, and if we have it, we have it. If we don't, we don't.
16th of December.
Maybe.
What's that? What'd you say,
Yes,
John?
16 December, okay, check in.
Check in to see if we're gonna meet.
Guys wanna do 3 PM on the 16th?
That works for me.
That sounds good.
All right,
That works
Yeah.
good in a business like board meeting, that's not till 6.
same day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you planning to keep meeting here?
I don't know.
I think it's fine.
You guys tell me where you wanna have it. I'm out of town, or I can drive either place,
Okay.
or I can Zoom either place, depending on what I'm doing.
I live here, I don't care.
Location TBD, we've got some time to get that public notice out. We know how to get public notices out now. So,
Do.
can put that, we can put the location on that. All right, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Seconded.
Sorry, go to bed.
Any
Aye,
opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
thank you.